Hey there, I'm Fiona Keary from Style Liberation, and I am also the creator of the Facebook group 35 Plus Where to Shop. Sorry, I just lost where I was just there. That is the beauty of being live. Um, we help women 35 plus to create a wardrobe full of outfits that they absolutely love wearing. And we help them do that through our one-to-one consultations, our workshops, our online program, The Style Transformation, and also our membership, the Super Stylers. Thank you so much for joining me this evening as we talk about why shopping is actually the last step that you should be taking when it comes to creating a wardrobe full of outfits that you love. We know that a lot of you make a beeline straight for the shops when you are feeling maybe a little bit bored or frustrated with your wardrobe. But we do think that there's somewhere else that you should start, and we're going to talk about that this evening. But before we do, I do have a question for you, and I'd love you to pop it into the Facebook comments. And that is whether you are a lover of shopping or if you hate shopping. So please post away and let me know if you love, and you can put it with a love heart or, write love, whatever else, or if you are not so fond of hitting the shops, whether online or in store, then post away as well and say hate, or maybe a thumbs down or something like that. And it'd be great to see who are the lovers and who are the haters in terms of shopping. What we tend to find is those that love shopping are really into fashion. They'll have Pinterest boards. They tend to follow fashion people on Instagram, or they will be very much up to date and following the latest trends. If they love it, they also find that shopping is a little bit of a hobby or a pastime for them. And they might also find shopping as a bit of a source of inspiration. So, going for a Saturday shop might fill them with inspiration as to what to add to their own wardrobe. They can still get into a tricky situation in terms of, perhaps coming home with a mishmash of items that don't mix and match with what they already have, or they also might find that they still can't find those particular pieces that they're after. We find a lot of our clients are not big fans of shopping at all. They actually hate shopping. And one of the reasons they hate shopping is because they're time poor. So the only time they tend to get to the shops is when it's opportunistic, or, when we used to travel before, airport shopping. I know a lot of my clients used to take advantage of airport shopping. They also get really frustrated because, then they can't find the inspiration, they're not sure what they're looking for, and they end up coming home with pieces that will do, or worse, even empty-handed as well. So it's not really fun. They're not really sure what they're looking for, and often they can't find what they're looking for either. So that's some of the frustrations that come out in terms of shopping. So as I mentioned before, it really is about starting somewhere else, and that somewhere else is actually in front of your wardrobe. We know that often you'll make a beeline straight to the shops, but we actually want you to start here, because there are actually gems to be uncovered in your wardrobe. And what can happen is we're so used to looking at our wardrobes and the pieces that we have in our wardrobes in a particular way, and only think about wearing them in one way, that we don't make the most of the opportunity to make those pieces work a lot harder. So that's one of the reasons you should start in your own wardrobe first. The second reason is that it's important to take time to assess what you already have and also learn from it as well. So I'll talk a little bit more about that one in just a moment. And the third reason that I really love people to start in their wardrobe first before they go shopping is because it's really important to identify what you actually need. Like, where are the gaps that you have in your wardrobe? And what sometimes happens if we don't identify the gaps is that we come home with pieces and go, oh, actually, I already had something that did that function already. So I probably didn't need to get that. So the classic example is another pair of black pants or another pair of jeans, for example, and it's still not filling that hole that's missing. and I'll talk about that too. So if we're talking about assessing and learning from what we have, it's about removing those distractions from our wardrobe. We all have pieces in our wardrobe that are not getting the wear, the love, and the attention that they deserve. And what I mean by that is we have pieces in our wardrobe that when we put on, we don't feel great in, and it could be because it doesn't feel like us, wrong style personality. It makes us look like we're wearing a sick day color. It's not the right color for us. Or it may not fit the right way, or we're not able to pair it with things the right way. So what we want to do is look at those items and assess them and remove them, because when they're all in there, what happens is we get distracted by them and we can't see those hidden gems that we already have in there. And that's when things become overwhelming and we just sort of shut the cupboard and actually go out and just try and get a new outfit for a particular event we have, rather than looking at what we already have that could really, really work. So in terms of assessing and learning, there is something that I'd highly recommend doing, and that is actually gauging pieces by your style profile. And what we mean by your style profile is assessing it against your style personality. So looking at what your style personality is, creative, relaxed, feminine, or maybe rebellious, relaxed, and classic, assessing each piece against that. If it's not your style personality and you don't feel great in it and it can't be worn in a way that reflects your style personality, then it's probably time to let it go. And when we say letting it go, it doesn't mean that we are throwing it to landfill. It's gifting it to someone who's going to love it more than you and who it's going to be perfect for. The second criteria that we look at in terms of assessing whether or not something should stay in your wardrobe is if it's the right color for you. Now, if it isn't, there are always ways to cheat, because if it's the right style personality and it's the right fit, then you can always cheat with it. We don't recommend getting rid of it if it's something that works really hard, but you can just cheat with it by pairing it with something that is the right color. So that's the second criteria. If it doesn't meet your style personality and your color palette, then really it should go. And then the third thing to look at is the fit of it. Now, we also know that we have varying sizes that can appear in our wardrobe. So our top tip and recommendation around this is very much to anything that is a size that you're not wearing at the moment is to pack it away and put it somewhere else. And the reason we ask you to do that is, again, to remove those distractions. There's nothing worse than, thinking, yep, I'm going to wear that particular piece, and it's something that's not in a size that you're wearing at the moment. And then that just throws everything out for you in the morning, especially if you're in a rush. And so put it away somewhere else in another cupboard, up the top of the cupboard, store it away under the bed. And also what we say is give it 12 to 18 months as well. Otherwise, then it's, again, time to let it go and move it on to somebody else. So it is very much assessing by that criteria: your style personality, your color palette, and also your body architecture. If it doesn't tick all three of those, then I would say it's time to let it go, unless it's the color and you can cheat a little bit with that. Then it's really about assessing where your gaps are. And what I say with the gaps, usually it's the boring buys. And what I mean by that, it's usually some staple pieces that you need in your wardrobe that is either worn out, or it's that staple piece that's not really that exciting to buy, but will bring all your wardrobe together. It tends to be, an example would be a navy pair of pants, which for any of you who have been following us for a while know that we go on about all the time. But it could be like a core piece like that, or what we call a foundation piece. So in a core or neutral color. So, a skirt, a pant, a dress, or it's often layering pieces, especially at this time of year where we're changing between seasons and we need to be layering up. So having some really key layering pieces that mix and match with everything else that we've got. And the third thing that's usually a gap in the wardrobe is shoes. Having the right shoes that make all your garments work a lot harder too. And that tends to be having the right color, and then also the right sort of heel height and style. So if we don't understand our style profile and undertake this wardrobe review, then when we hit the shops, it actually becomes really tricky. And the mistakes that we often see include buying more of the same, buying pieces that don't tend to mix and match with what you already have, and then having things in your wardrobe that don't really tick that style profile. And therefore, the next time you do a wardrobe review, you find that you're removing those items again. So, what action would I love you to take this week? What I'd love you to do is actually just to tackle one part of your wardrobe. And what I mean by that is maybe just focus, say, on t-shirts. It's coming towards the end of this t-shirt season, although we would say that t-shirts can be worn all year round. It's just about how you layer it and make it more of a trans-seasonal and seasonal piece. But tackle one part of your wardrobe and go through that process of looking at it against your style profile to see whether it should stay or whether it should go. Then what I'd love you to do is to identify 3 gaps that you have in your wardrobe. And especially at this time of year, I think one of them will definitely be a layering piece. So identify 3 gaps. Then what I'd love you to do is actually note it in your phone or put it in a piece of paper in your purse or your bag, so that when you do have the opportunity at the shops, especially if you're an opportunistic shopper, you can really keep an eye out for those key pieces, because they're the ones that are going to make everything else in your wardrobe work so much harder. And that's what it's all about, making things work really hard, at the same time looking amazing in them and feeling great in them as well. So I'd love for you to meet Wendy. Wendy is one of our gorgeous style transformers. I'll just see if I can make that bigger. There we go. One of our gorgeous style transformers. So she did the style transformation last year, and she also is now one of our members of our Super Styler program as well. So for her, she's really, really noticed this difference in terms of the ability for everything to mix and match in her wardrobe, being really super focused on what's right for her, so that when she goes shopping, she saves so much time because she can make a beeline for the things that are right for her. And she's never worrying if what she's buying is going to go with other things that she has. She knows that when it ticks her style profile, her style personality, her color palette, and her body architecture, it is going to work beautifully with everything else that she already has. So we actually open the doors to the style transformation next Wednesday, so in just less than a week. And we do have a wait list available at the moment before we open the doors, and we are offering some special bonuses to those that join the wait list. So if that's something that you're interested in and you want to have your style profile, join a group of women who are going to support you through your style transformation journey, and have the ability to create a wardrobe where everything mixes and matches, then pop on over to the styletransformationwaitlist.com and give us, just put in your details, and then we will let you know all about it. That's all from me for this week. Next week, we are also going to be kicking off with some other webinars, free masterclasses called the Wardrobe Revamp. So if you're around next Wednesday or Thursday evening, we'd love to see you there too. Take care. Bye.